Now to Congress, with new House Speaker Mike Johnson scheduling a vote on aid to Israel. Let's bring in ABC News' Jay O'Brien, who is live on Capitol Hill. Jay, lawmakers on the Hill are set to vote on that $14.3 billion package of aid to Israel. So what's the latest at this hour?
Yeah, Elizabeth, we're tracking a vote potentially within the hour. Republicans say that they have the numbers within their own party to pass this. We also know at this hour that the White House has been calling around, according to sources who talked to me and our Rachel Scott, been calling around to congressional Democrats, urging them to vote no on this legislation, pressuring them to do so. Democrats have obviously already had staunch policy disagreements with this $14 billion aid package that Speaker Johnson put together for Israel, particularly because Republicans say that they're trying to offset the cost of that foreign aid with cuts to the IRS. But the Congressional Budget Office, a nonpartisan group that scores these kinds of bills, as you know, said that that would add $12 billion to the federal deficit and not offset any of the costs of this legislation. So Democrats have deep disagreements with that. Also, that it doesn't include any funding for Ukraine, which is something that the president wanted and that Senate Democrats and Republicans wanted. But again, potentially on track to pass the House tonight. That's at least certainly what House Republicans are telegraphing this evening. But the Senate saying that they won't take this up if it does.
You know I love those CBO scores, Jay. You know, earlier today, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said that the Senate will not take up that Israel package. Here's what Schumer had to say.
The hypocrisy here is that by cutting funding to go after tax cheats, he will actually explode the deficit by billions and billions of dollars. What a joke. I am glad that the president issued a veto threat over this stunningly unserious proposal.
So you heard it there, Majority Leader Schumer and your sources saying pretty much this is going to be vetoed. So what's the plan here then after this passes the House when it comes to aid for Israel?
Well, that's kind of the open question here. So if it does pass the House tonight, Schumer, as you just heard in that sound, pledging that he's not going to bring it up for a vote in the Senate, so wouldn't even get to the president's desk, and that, in theory, to be vetoed, although the White House has said the president would veto it if it does. This is somewhat a taking of a page from former Speaker McCarthy's playbook. We saw this somewhat in the government shutdown fight, bringing forward a conservative bill with conservative priorities and sending it for the Senate, and then to point to the Senate and say the Senate isn't doing what we want them to do. Now, the Senate is on track to pass what is essentially the president's request, which is $105 billion, and it includes aid for Israel and aid for Ukraine and aid for other allies. Now, if that passes the Senate and gets sent over here to the House, the question facing Speaker Johnson is, what does he do? He's already said he wants to try to separate the two and do aid for Israel separate to aid for Ukraine, but that sets up, obviously, a significant confrontation with the other side of the Capitol.
Yet another battle on the Hill. Jay O'Brien, thanks so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.